All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where are you from?
I'm Ricky Colleen. I'm from the United Kingdom, place called Newcastle, England.
Newcastle, England. I haven't done any interviews from someone in another country in a while. I've been meaning to get one, and man, I seen you
Yeah,
on Instagram. Okay, Instagram, and I left you a comment
yeah,
and just heard 30 seconds of you. I think you're on a damn treadmill, man. I think you're on a treadmill or
yeah.
something.
It was on YouTube. One of my videos on YouTube.
Oh, okay, okay. It might have been. I think it was like a short or something. Anyway, I commented and I
Yeah,
said, "Man, I don't want to hear no more of your story. Would you like to come on?" And here we are. Uh, I'm looking forward to it, man. If you don't mind,
yeah.
tell the people a little bit about yourself, how you went down the dark road over there in England.
So what happened was, growing up from a young age, a lot of the people older than me that I looked up to had been to prison, and they used to glamorize it and glorify it. And I grown up on a council estate. It was quite rough growing up. Everyone was getting into bits of trouble, and I used to love it. I was loving the environment I was in, and I used to love getting into trouble, getting into fights, and just causing mischief from a young age. But my father had been to prison for about 14 years before I was born, and then. But my dad always used to tell me prison stories about when he was fighting with the officers and different things and like glamorizing it. So from a young age, from 7 year old, I always wanted to go to prison. I wanted to be like my dad.
Oh man, that's a damn hell of a story. Hey, look, when you say glamorizing, what do you mean? Like laughing as he's telling the stories and stuff? I
He
mean,
used to tell stories about when he used to fight with the officers and do the screws in over in England. This officers are called screws.
screws, yeah, yeah.
So my dad used to tell us all the stories about when he used to fight with the screws and stuff. And like he'd be laughing about it, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I want to be like that."
That's crazy, man. Did you have? You said you had brothers?
I had a brothers and sisters. Yeah, I had one brother and sister that lived with me.
Yeah.
Um,
Did your other brother look up to your dad in that way as well?
he did as well, but he didn't. Obviously, he never ended up in prison, but he still ended up going down that route. From a young age, I was started drinking alcohol from the age of 11 and smoking dope, drinking, taking drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got a little bit older, fighting, like the violence just got more, and I started using weapons. I'd be carrying knives around with us and going
Yeah,
out into
yeah.
clubs.
Knives is like a big thing out in England, man. Right?
It is, yeah. It is. It's a massive thing. Like, there's not as many. There is in the cities, in the gangs. There's more guns and stuff. But out where we live, it's more people carrying knives and machetes and stuff.
Yeah. Like, see, over here, in America, we're getting people are getting pulled over in their vehicles for whatever reason, and a lot of times, a lot of people they have guns on them. Is it like that in England? Cats, gangsters roaming the streets a lot with the guns in the car and stuff like that, or they just keep it at their
It is, yeah, but it's not as bad because over here, if you get caught with a firearm, it's an automatic 5 years in prison.
automatic, huh?
Automatic. If you get caught with a handgun, anything, it's like a starting point. It's an automatic 5 year.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Not.
They do fingerprints and stuff like that on the guns if you get caught with one. Let's say you get caught with one in your car and say that's not mine. Would they fingerprint it or would they just say no, it's in your car, it's yours?
That's it. If you get caught with it in your car, that's you. You're done. 5 year.
You're done.
But even if you get caught with bullets and you don't get caught with a gun, I know what a friend of mine got caught with bullets, and he got caught with the drugs as well, but he got like 9 years for the drugs and the bullets.
Wow. Okay. Well, you said it started off. We'll talk more about the logistics and the law
Yeah,
side of things later on. But let's get back to your youth, man. You say you started off drinking, smoking the bud and stuff like that.
yeah.
Where did you end up going to like a juvenile facility before you went to the adult facility? I mean, what was this first thing that really sparked off the incarceration side of things?
Well, what happened as it escalated the violence and stuff? I was even when I got arrested once. I actually went and handed myself in. I was wanted for a violent offence. Yeah, I was at a house party been fighting with some lad who said something, and I've hit him, knocked him out with one punch, and I've jumped on top of him with glass bottles and smashed them all over with the bottles.
How old were you?
Yeah, I was 19 at the time.
Damn. I mean, you look like a massive dude, bro. I mean, were you big at 19 too?
I was big lad as well, yeah.
Oh, man, you were damn beating guys left and right, man.
I'm here. 6'4".
God, treacherous.
So the police were looking for us for that, and I went and handed myself into the police station. It's 12 o'clock at night. I went to the police station, and the front of the police station shut, but obviously there's police still inside. So I'm banging on the windows like a lunatic. Let us in, I'm wanted. So the police are like looking out, thinking, who's this outside? And they came out and they says, what do you want? I says, what do I want? I said, I'm a wanted man. So they took us inside. I admitted to it. I went in to an interview, and I said, yes, it was me. I'd done it. I'd done the offence. I committed it. I admitted it. And the reason why I admitted it was because I was wanting to go to prison.
I was about to say that.
Still, when I was getting processed at the end, I went in the sergeant room, and they said, right, we're releasing you on bail to come back. And I was like, you're releasing us on bail? I said, you can't release us because like this is where the violence isn't going to stop. I was begging them to send us to prison. Yeah. And they still let us out. So 2 weeks before I was due to get sentenced for this offence, another altercation happened where some lad had beat my sister up in a house party. And he rang us up 2 weeks later, shouting down the phone. So I answered the phone. I said, do you realise who you're fucking with? So I went to phone my friend up. Two of us have went to his door. Half an hour later with balaclava masks on, put his door in and just ran in with the machetes and just started chopping them up. So obviously the police were...
Hold on, man. Chopping them up to what extent? I mean, what, he lived?
Oh, he lived, yeah.
Nice. All right.
But
filleted him a bit.
I was wanted again by the police, obviously. This time it was attempted murder at first. Yeah, went to the police station. Same thing happened. I was on the run for 2 weeks. The police were looking for us. I went to the same police station at 12 o'clock at night, still drunk. And I'm banging on the windows again, saying, let us in. So they've let us in. And then this time, I've went to the court in the morning, and I knew they weren't letting us out this time because of how serious it was.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on the back of the bus on my way to prison. The radio was on, and I'm just sitting on the bus popping away thinking, yes, I'm on my way now.
You're about to run that shit. You're about to run that prison, huh?
That was the mentality I was in, that was the mindset.
I mean, you were pretty alpha throughout your whole life, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like the alpha guy in the room.
Yeah. But this is all to do with like the environment, the way I was brought up and what I was seeing, and like I didn't know any different, and I was just fucking that was the mindset I was in.
I mean, was your dad violent in any way? I mean, besides telling the stories about it, was he like, did you see him actually do these violent things around you?
Yeah, see, when I was growing up, he was never violent to me or any of the family, but every night on the estate we were living in the streets, there was violence, there was fighting every night. It was either my mom was beating somebody up or my dad was beating someone up in the streets, having fun. They were all drinking alcohol outside, fighting in the street, and this was just an everyday thing, every day, Yeah, so obviously I goes in there full of same mentality, goes in the first day. We're in reception waiting to get processed, and there's this lad about a year younger than me. He's been to prison about 10 times, and he thinks he's the boys weighing us up, looking at us thinking, I'm going to try and have his life. So I'm looking at him thinking, you're going to get fucked up, you little mug. He's looking at me thinking that I'm a first timer, he's going to have us.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at him thinking, big mistake, mate. I'm going to smash her up if you fuck on,
Yeah, you don't have no idea. Okay, was he big, kind of big too?
Yeah, he was quite big, not as big as me, but
yeah.
But there was another lad in reception getting processed with me who was a first timer as well. And you could just see the two different types. Like me, I was ready for it, but this other guy, he was like shitting himself.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wasn't ready for it. And I was looking at him, but this, the lad that I'm on about, once we got onto the wing, yeah, I stood up to go to the showers, and he put his foot out in front of us to try and trip us up. So I've just jumped up and said, "Come on, then, you fucking mug. Let's go. Get in the showers. I'll smash her up now." And he just went, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it."
And this was all on reception.
Yeah.
Do they have all, like over here? They have all levels of offenders in reception, murderers down to sexual assaults. Is it like that in those receptions, or is there
Yeah,
separate
they've got
ones?
them all mixed in, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and talk about, if you don't mind, man, the separation. Is there any kind of politics when it comes down to separation of race, or
See, in the young offender prisons, the only what it is it's secluded, as in, like, you've got, from where we're from, you've got like the northeast lads, but there's people from, you've got like 5 different cities. So you've got like Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Cumbria, and then you've got the lads from down south of the country, and they all sit in their own little groups. See, if everyone mostly still got on with each other, but you just had to sit in your own different groups. That's what it was like. But
yeah?
everyone still sort of got on with each other.
Okay, okay,
But obviously there was violence every day in them places, because full of young men, full of testosterone, wanting to prove themselves.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
So I had a good few fights in them places. The first real fight I had was I was over a game of pool, just
okay.
playing pool, and some lad started mouthing on, saying it was his shot, and I'm telling him to fuck off. And then it's getting heated. So I'm saying, like, "Come on, then let's go." And then the screw shouted over. He shouted, "Colleen, leave it. Wait till you're going back to your cell." I thought, "Oh, fair enough. He's given us the go ahead. He's just said, wait until you're out of sight."
Yeah,
So we're walking back to our cells. He's walking side by side, and I just looked at him. I've just went bang, smashed him as hard as I could, knocked him clean out, and he's just jumped straight back up and started chucking windmills, and then I've just smashed him all over.
yeah, man. So what do they
Then
do if you get caught fighting?
the screws obviously jumped on top of us, dragged us apart. You get dragged back to your cell, and then you've got to go up in front of the governor in the morning to get like reprimanded. So you go up in front of the governor, and because it was the first time fighting, you just got put behind your door for 14 days. No association, no TV, nothing. Just 10-minute shower once a day.
In the cell block that you're already in, just behind your cell.
Yeah, but we got moved to different cell blocks, so we weren't next
Oh,
to each other.
okay.
From there, I got moved down to Durham Prison, and Durham Prison is like a big, old Victorian prison,
Mm-hmm. Like a castle.
like a castle sort of type. When you go in them places,
Mm-hmm.
you look up and you're thinking, "Wow, now you know you're in prison."
I made it. I made it, Dad. I made it, Dad.
But you know you're in prison when you land in them places, because it's like they look rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you get into Durham, it's different in there in the men's prison, because you've got cellies, what you call padmates.
Mm-hmm.
But in a short period of time, I had about 8 different padmates, and I was getting sick of getting used to one person, then getting somebody else in. So at the time, I was seeing a CPN, the community psychiatric nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell them, I sort of made the story up. I said, when I was getting assessed, I said to them to see, is everything okay? And I said, well, I keep having these funny feelings, like I want to attack me padmate when he's watching the telly. So the next day, the cell door came open and screws all piled in, and said to me, "Padmate, we need you out of here." So then I had the part to myself.
Oh man, that's funny as hell, man.
And what happened? I was in there for another couple of months, and I went up for trial, because I was running a trial on the violent charge. It was attempted murder, but it got dropped down to over here. It's called Section 18, grievous bodily harm with intent.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to trial because the only evidence they had on us, because I had the mask on, there was no forensic evidence or anything, and the only evidence they had was my voice. They recognised my voice.
Yeah.
So that's what got convicted through that.
Through your voice.
Through me voice, yeah. Voice recognition.
Wow. Wait,
Yeah,
like they had a recording and they literally tested it next to your voice?
they didn't even do the recording. They just took their word for it because obviously they took the lad.
Wow.
They took their word for it. Stood up in court. Obviously, his girlfriend was there as well. And then I got found guilty.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, how
And
much time you end up getting?
well, I got found guilty. And what happens is you're supposed to get pre-sentence report off your probation officer. You get sentenced after your trial 2 weeks later. Well, the judge turned around and said, "I'm sentencing you today, and I'm sentencing you now. I'm sentencing you to indeterminate sentence for public protection, which is a life sentence, which is 99 years. So I got sentenced to 99 years with a recommendation that I serve at least 4 years. So I've had to serve 4 years before the considerers to see whether I'm still a danger to the public.
Like the parole board almost. I don't know if you
The
know
parole
anything.
board, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So like the sentence is called IPP, indeterminate for public protection. It's the same as a life sentence.
okay.
Now these sentences they're brought out for the more serious offenders. They were designed for sex offenders and dangerous, violent people.
Yeah.
But they were only supposed to give 1,000 out, and they ended up giving out 7,000 because they were giving them out willy nilly, like too easy.
Yeah.
And they just clogged the system up because you've got no release date. And if you act yourself in prison, you don't get out. There's lads I know that got a 20-month IPP, and
Yeah.
15 years later, they're still in prison now.
Wow. Yeah, I was
They
about
won't
to
let them
say
out.
that. That's what I was about to
They won't,
ask you. Is it common for people to get denied on the first go?
yeah, because it's 99 years, they can't keep you for life without releasing you. You've got to prove to them that you've got to do offending behaviour courses and everything in order to say that you've been rehabilitated.
And I'm guessing if they don't like you, I mean, they could keep you in that side pocket forever.
Yeah. All it takes is for you to get a write-up off the screws if they don't like you, and then you come to your parole board and you get a bad comment and they say they knock you back.
I'm guessing that keeps people in control quite a bit, huh?
It does, yeah.
Did you consider that when you were doing time, or did you just say screw it?
When you get in, you've got to realise that if you don't knuckle down and get your head into the game, obviously do what you've got to do, you won't be released.
Yeah.
So obviously, after a couple of years, after I messed around for the first couple of years of my sentence, when I got sentenced, I got sent to a high security prison.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a maximum security prison, the highest one in the country. This is like for the most serious violent offenders and murderers,
What was this
serial
place
killers.
called?
Yeah, Franklin, HMP Franklin. And I was in there. I don't know if you remember, and there was an American guy in there called David Bieber. He killed a police officer over here.
I don't know. They ain't ringing no bells.
He was wanted in the United States, and he was over here on the run.
Uh huh.
He got caught off the police.
Yeah.
Sitting in the back of the police car with a gun, and he didn't want to be arrested, so he's got the police officer out the car, got him on his knees, and just blasted his head off, killed him.
And that's what he did over there in England?
That's what he done over here in England, just so he didn't have to do time in America.
Yeah, he was already on the run in America. Okay, damn,
Yeah.
man.
Obviously, he must have thought it's easier time over here, so he wanted to do his time here.
So what happened with that?
He got a recommendation of 35 years, life with 35 years.
Yeah.
So he has to serve 35 years before he's eligible for parole.
You were housed with that guy? He was in the same prison with you?
He was in the same prison as me, yeah.
What do they do with guys like that are popular and well known? Are they in protective custody kind of situation, or is it main population?
Just main general population, main population.
Really? Where people kind of like staying away from or causing them trouble? Someone with a high profile case like that?
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot of people really got on with him, to be honest, because he was a bit arrogant. But obviously he is well known. Everyone knew what he was in for, and everyone was wary of him. You had to be wary of him because of what he was in for.
I mean, was there any moments that you just remembered that you learned from quickly that you shouldn't or shouldn't do in prison in England that people might need to hear?
But obviously, if you just keep your head down and just get on with your prison, you can just get through it okay.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a lot of drugs in the jails, and if you're buying your drugs and you don't pay your bills, you don't pay your debt, then you're going to get serious trouble.
Yeah. Is there
But
ever people like extorting individuals?
yeah, there's a lot of bullying goes on in the prisons. I've talked about it on because I've got my own YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and I talk about prison stories. And I've just done a video talking about like surviving your first 24 hours in prison. Like if you don't stand up for yourself when people are asking for things from you and you just give it to them, then they're going to keep coming back and victimizing you, and you're just going to end up becoming a victim. So you've got to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And just say from the get-go, like, fuck off. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
You've got to
okay,
stand your
well,
ground.
that's a good question, man. For someone, let's say a regular individual, regular sized individual, he's not no tough guy, what should he say to someone that's coming to ask to borrow something from him? Should he give
If
it to
someone's
him?
coming up with them and asking them, saying, "Oh, can you give us some vapes?" Because there's no tobacco now; it's all vapes.
Yeah.
If he's just giving them, he'll go and tell his friends, and his friends will come and ask for them, and then you've got to stand your ground and just like say, "No," like try and be firm. No, you're not getting any. If they keep pestering you, then you've got to switch on them and like say you're going to fucking do them in. You want to fight them, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Even if you can't fight, you just pretend you can fight. Come on, let's have it.
You got to, man. You got to. You got to do something.
Yeah.
Put on your war face. Put on your war face. You know.
Because the majority of the time, the people that are doing it, these bullies, if you turn on them, they shit themselves. They don't want nothing to do with it because they're just little fannies anyway.
Let me ask you one more question. I don't want to ask you too much because, like you said, you got a YouTube channel. We're going to talk about that here in 1 second.
Yeah.
But let me ask you one more thing, man. This is just for my personal, I like to know about these type of situations.
Yeah.
What are the organizations like over there in England, man? Is there gangs? When I think of England, I'm not going to lie, man, I'm thinking of a lot of like white supremacy organization type of situations. Is it like that over there?
No, it's totally not like that. You see, in the bigger jails, the high security prisons, everybody gets on with everybody, really. If you're looking for trouble and you want to cause trouble, then I'll give you what happened in Franklin. There was a terrorist in there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few terrorists in there serving big sentences. This one was the head of Al Qaeda in the UK.
In general population.
He's in general population.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And the first day that I was there, some guy come in and there was a pan of hot oil just bubbling away because you can cook your own food in there.
Uh-huh.
Some guys just come in, picked the pan up and tipped it over the terrorist's head, and I seen it tear, and his skin was just peeling off and everything. But what happened there was,
dang,
because he's a Muslim, all the Muslim are stuck together. And like the Muslim guys, they've got the biggest stronghold in the prisons at the minute in the UK.
Really?
Because there's that many of them, and they're all stick together.
Is there any white guys in there? Any white Muslim cats running with them?
There is, yeah. Some of the white guys who have got trouble and they're scared, so they turn Muslim for protection.
Wow. Okay.
But there's no like white supremacy gangs, nothing like that.
Wow. Never imagined, man. What about, let's say, like Bloods or Crips and stuff like that? You see people coming in there trying to represent stuff like that, or some kind of common street gangs?
Oh, there's loads of them. Yeah, from down south, from London and Birmingham. There's some of them. See, what happens is, outside, if they've got beef with each other, they come inside, and because they're in with the brothers, they've got to get on with each other. It's crazy.
So they just get along.
Like in Franklin, there was two lads in, two gangbangers, and one of them had killed his cousin. But because they all got on, he had to be friendly with them.
Because they're part of the same organization?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I'll just go through a little bit. Obviously, when I went through the high security estate, I had to go back through the system, get lower into lower categories. Then I got released after serving 5 years. And my wife was, my girlfriend, who's now my wife, was waiting for us. She stuck by us.
Nice.
But I've come out with a total different mindset this time. And I had a little bit of money inheritance, what I got from my granddad, who passed away whilst I was inside. And I set myself a few little businesses away, and I've done well for myself over the years. And I was out of prison for 10 years. Had 4 kids, got married, had my own business. But then things started going downhill again. And the reason why I went downhill again, I found my best friend committed suicide, and I found him. And I had to resuscitate him. Obviously, he died. So I started drinking heavily again, and my mindset just started dipping. And then my wife's auntie killed herself, committed suicide. And then my other best friend done it, killed himself. So I experienced like 3 suicides off the trot.
Jeez.
And my head was just smashed up. I was drinking heavily.
Oh my goodness, man.
But I had my own car business, buying and selling cars, motor vehicles. And one night when I had a couple of drinks, I got offered a stolen car. I've ended up buying the car to sell on. And I've crashed the car when I was drunk, and I've ran away and left it. And then 6 months later, my DNA was on the airbag. It came back. And I was on my way to work in my recovery truck, not oblivious. And I got boxed in by 10 police cars, come after us, all jumped out, took us in, put us in the back of the police car. Drove us straight into the prison. Because I'm serving 99 years, that still carries with us for the rest of my life.
Like the
so
probation.
any little bit of trouble I get into, I'm back. So I found myself back in the same prison after 10 years. Only this time, I didn't want to go to prison, because I was in a different mindset. So I went in prison, and my head was up my arse. Like, my head was done in, because obviously I've got 4 children now.
Yeah. I understand exactly what you're talking about, man. This
time,
is a painful sentence, painful one. Yeah.
But because I'm serving this life sentence still, I'm back in there, and I could be in forever until I prove that I'm suitable to be released all over again. So I'm fighting for my freedom to get back out. And we got locked down because of the COVID. So we're on 23.5-hour bang up every day. No, so like half an hour time for association.
23 and a half. That's
yeah.
Because my channel's 23 and 1. So it would be 23 and a half and a half. I'm just tripping, man. All right, so
what happened was, on the second time, obviously, my head was up my arse. I'm speaking to my kids every day. My 2 youngest children was only 2 and 3 year old, and they're saying to us, "Daddy, when you're coming home?" But I couldn't tell them. I couldn't tell them a day, But this broke me inside, because I wanted to be back with my family, and it changed my mindset even more. It was the worst thing that could have happened to us, but it was also the best, because it's made us who I am now, and it's made us more determined in life, because I know what I can lose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got myself in a positive mindset, and I said to myself that I wasn't going to let these suicides affect me anymore. And I've always trained, so I was on the yard doing prison workouts, circuits, burpees and everything. And I was getting the rest of the boys out on the yards, and I had like a gang of us, and we're all doing workouts together, but I was like leading them all on, getting everybody extremely fit, being like a personal trainer. So I started jotting all my ideas down, and within a matter of 6 months, I'd wrote this book, which is this one, Behind the Bars Fitness.
That's a badass cover.
Yeah, Behind the Bars, that's the back page. But This book is actually available to buy on Amazon. It's on Walmart in the USA, Blacks and Nobles. And it's all about physical and mental fitness training. It's not just about bettering yourself physically, it's mentally. It's talking about mental health and everything, so how to better yourself.
Do you speak about your story or your situations at all in that book?
Yeah, it's got my story in about taking drugs and everything, and the first day I was out, I started typing my book up because I knew I wanted to get it out there.
Yeah.
And I've eventually went on to buy my own gym now, and that's what my gym is there, Ruthless Fitness.
Nice. That's a badass logo, man. That's a
It is, yeah.
badass logo. I like that. You got a YouTube channel. What are you doing on that thing?
On my YouTube channel, I'm talking about my book, talking about workouts, motivational speeches, telling people how to better their lives, and just talking about my time in prison and what it was like. So I'm just I'm trying to help people instead of hurting people now. I'm wanting to help people because the feeling that I get from helping people is unbelievable compared to the feeling I used to get from hurting people. You see, I'm doing a lot of things with the kids up at the gym. I've got boxing classes on, and I'm not just teaching them boxing, and I'm teaching them like the ways of life and how to be a better person and not going down that route. Because there's too many people, like you see, glorifying prison and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's not enough people. If there was more people like myself around when I was a kid, you might not have went down that route.
Okay, what's your YouTube channel name?
It is the same as the book, Behind the Bars, Ruthless Fitness.
Okay, is that pretty much what all of your social media is?
Yeah, my Instagram's Ruthless Fitness 1. I'm on TikTok as well, Ruthless Fitness 3, I think it is on there.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna keep everything linked and pinned in the comment section description. I didn't really ask all the questions I want to ask about England's facilities. So hopefully, man, you stay in contact. We can do another part.
Yeah.
I love doing part twos with the majority of people that I have on the channel. So
Anytime.
and man, I wish you the best. And anyone trying to tell people that the bullshit that we used to think is cool or whatever as a kid it is wrong. I'm all for it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I hope and wish you nothing but success in the future. And looking forward to seeing or hearing some more of your stories on your channel, man.